marshmallows. You can't hear a campfire story without them, but these aren't modern treats. These gooey treats have a surprisingly long history that goes way back to ancient Egypt. We're talking thousands of years before roasting sticks and graham crackers. Forget futuristic space food. Marshmallows are one of the most ancient treats in the world. They started as a mixture made with sap, starch, and wheat, but how does this simple recipe transform into the fluffy candies we love? Let's find out in today's video. First things first, the ingredients need to be gathered. Forget the marshmallow plant, the stuff of old times. These days, marshmallows are all about a few key ingredients: corn syrup, cornstarch, and water. They form the base of the squishy treat. Some other ingredients might be joining the mix depending on the recipe. Wheat flour or egg whites can add something extra to the texture. Next, we have the flavor enhancers, the colors, the tastings, everything to keep things interesting. These make sure the marshmallows look and taste amazing. Finally, the secret weapon, gelatin. This is the ingredient that gives marshmallows their bounce. It's the same stuff that makes gummy bears wiggle. Even if gelatin itself comes from animal bones, don't worry. The marshmallow making process is totally sweet. With all the ingredients gathered, it's time to mix them up. Mixing might sound boring, but mess up even a little, and your marshmallows could turn out funky. That's why factories are super careful with this step. They can control the temperature, speed, and moisture to get things just right. It all happens in two parts. First, the main crew, corn syrup, cornstarch, and any wheat flour or egg whites, get a good stir for a few minutes. Once they're a thick paste, a specific amount of water needs to be added. Next comes the heat. The entire mixture gets whisked together and cranked up to 240° F. This cooks everything through. The separate ingredients get transformed into a smooth, uniform marshmallow batter. But perfection is key in the marshmallow world. Even the tiniest lumps can ruin the texture. To catch sneaky lumps that escape, they push the mixture through a superfine sieve. This ensures a smooth base for the next step, whipping up the marshmallows. Till now, we haven't added the fun stuff, the flavors, colors, and gelatin. Those get added after the mixture becomes a smooth, even paste. Whipping is where the magic really happens. If you've ever made whipped cream, that's kind of what goes down here. The mixture gets blasted with super fast mixing, not slow and gentle. This injects a ton of air, similar to how you fluff up whipped cream. Air is practically the fourth ingredient in marshmallows. That's why they're so light. But there's more to this whipping step than just air. While the mixture gets pummeled by industrial mixers, the gelatin activates. It starts to bind everything together, acting like glue. At the same time, it traps all that air that was just added, creating the foundation for that delightful marshmallow fluff. Remember the runny liquid you saw at the start? Gelatin transforms it into a chewy, structured candy. Once the mixture gets fluffier and bigger, doubling or tripling its size, it's ready to move on to the next step. Before the 1950s, marshmallows were a lot of effort. Each one needed longer to form their skin, and they were more chewy than fluffy. Then came the extruding machine, a game changer for marshmallows. With high pressure, these machines could pump in tons of air, creating that light and airy texture. Plus, they ditched the egg whites, making the process faster and the marshmallows lighter than ever. Once the mixture is whipped and slightly cooled so it's still flexible, it's loaded onto a conveyor belt that will carry it through the next steps. A series of shapers then transform it into one long, flat sheet. Think of it as a giant marshmallow slab. This marshmallow slab takes a trip through a heat exchanger, where cool air blasts through it. This makes it even fluffier while helping it set and hold its shape. Before it cools completely, the slab gets pushed through a mold. This transforms it into long marshmallow tubes. These tubes can be twisted or combined to create fun shapes and double-flavored candies. They are then whisked through an extruder. In a second, a sharp slicer chops them into those familiar cylindrical shapes. So many marshmallows are being made at the same time, so you can't let them stick together. They get dusted with a sugar cornstarch mixture. This mixture even gives them that smooth, candy-like texture. We're almost at the finish line, but a little heat is still there. This brings us to the final step in the cooking process, cooling them down completely. After getting their shapes, the marshmallow pillows fall into a giant drum. The drum spins them around quickly, helping them reach room temperature. This cool down also serves another purpose. It brushes off any extra sugar cornstarch dust and spreads it evenly over all the marshmallows. Once they're nice and cool, they hop onto another conveyor belt. So we know one thing now, making marshmallows might seem like a piece of cake, but don't let that fool you. Even tiny changes in ingredients or mixing can lead to disaster. No one wants gooey messes and rock-hard candies. That's why, before hitting the shelves, each batch goes through a series of tests. One of them is called the snap test. A worker cuts a marshmallow in half and presses it. They're looking for a bounce back. How long does it take to spring back into shape? This simple test tells them if it's got the perfect marshmallow texture. Every candy has to prove that it's ready to be shipped to the world. While homemade marshmallows might go bad if you don't eat them fast enough, factory-made ones are built to last. Thanks to the clean environment, added preservatives, and sealed packaging, these fluffy pillows can stay fresh for a surprisingly long time. Here's how they get there. First, high-quality airtight bags are prepped. A long sheet of material gets cut and sealed simultaneously using a hot metal tool. Folding machines then transform this into a bag, ready to be filled with fluffy candies. Next comes the precision part. A digital scale carefully weighs out a specific amount of marshmallows. This makes sure each bag gets the perfect amount. Then, a pump injects nitrogen gas into the bag. This pushes out any oxygen, which can spoil the marshmallows. With the bag inflated with nitrogen, a pair of heated rods seals it shut immediately. A printer then personalizes each bag with a best before date and a unique code. Now these marshmallow packages are ready to go out. A rotating platform gathers them all up and sends them off to their final destination, cardboard boxes. These boxes get packed, sealed, and shipped to stores near you, ready to be transformed into gooey s'mores or enjoyed on their own. You can find these humble marshmallows sitting on top of most treats and desserts. From some basic ingredients to sweet treats, making marshmallows combines old-fashioned fun with modern machines. So the next time you pop a marshmallow in your mouth, remember its rich and surprising history. If you enjoyed learning about this process, keep your eyes peeled for the next one on our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.